Here we go. We're back now with the first match of the Upper Michigan Chevy Classics from the Westwood Lane here in Marquette, Michigan. And joining me at Mike's side is Glenn Borchert from Iron Mountain. Our first match pits Andy Poole of Marquette against Jeff Miller. Glenn.
Andy decided to finish on lane 22. That's why he's able to start on 21. He was ahead of Jeff Miller in the qualifying. He left the 610 on his first ball. He'll be moving to the left here across the alley at the spare.
We had 51 bowlers to start today.
Yes, we did. And it was our best start we have ever had as far as the season goes. I'm really happy to see all the bowlers turn out. But again, we want to thank Channel 6 for being part of this year, and that's why we got the great attendance here today.
He covers and picks up the spare. For Andy Poole of Marquette, who bowls 2 days a week at the Eastwood Lanes here in Marquette. And Jeff Miller's up, who won the first televised UP Match Play Championships this past year.
All right.
Jeff Miller of Marquette. He's on lane 22. We're at the Westwood Lanes in Marquette, Michigan. This is the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic.
All right, he starts out big with a big strike. But we're going to see some good scoring today, Carl. The shot, and that we mean by the various bowlers want to play a little further inside or outside, and the shot here is pretty wide. And got a good shot for any of the bowlers that bowled today. Just a matter of carry. It's a little tough to carry corners here. Once the bowlers get the feel of it, start getting the corner pins out of here, we're going to have some good scores.
This is Jeff Miller now on lane 21, second frame.
All right,
there's a double. Jeff Miller with a double in the first match. UP Match Play Championships, and we're calling it the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic because today's competition is sponsored by the Upper Michigan Chevrolet dealers.
This
Andy Poole.
This is some great competition. Jeff is a pretty seasoned veteran. All right, and Andy comes back with a strike.
Andy answers with a strike.
And Andy, this is his second tournament in our association. Last year he bowled in the first one here at Westwood and couldn't make the tournament schedule after that, but here he started again this year. Only his second tournament, and here we see him on television.
Now again, we had 51, and that broke down to the top 4.
Right.
So we're having 3 matches for today's telecast.
You got it.
Andy Poole in his third frame now with a strike up.
All right, see there's a corner pin. 10 pin was the last pin out that time. He was able to carry the corners, and that's what's going to determine who's going to win or lose today, along with making some good shots in the clutch.
Jeff Miller now. He has a double for working for him. The third frame. Jeff Miller.
It's close. All right.
A turkey.
Got to explain to the viewers, we don't have that good of an angle where we're sitting to see every ball that the bowlers are rolling to see if it's going to be in the pocket or not, but we can tell from our angle that it was close that time.
All right, Jeff Miller now in the fourth frame. This again is the first match. The Upper Michigan Chevy Classic. Jeff Miller. Fourth frame.
Oh, they've got the line, Carl. We're going to see some great scoring.
Glenn, you called it at the very outset. You said we're going to see some great scoring. I hope that we don't jinx somebody.
No, I don't think so. They're ready for it. They're all pumped up, and like I say, the 51 bowlers that came today, that's why they're here. They want to get to the television show.
All right, Andy Poole now for his fourth frame, the first match.
Just a little bit light. May not have hit his target, or he may not have gotten a good roll on the ball, and just slid a little bit off to the right, then get back to the pocket. Should be moving a little bit right for the spare on the approach and picking a spare.
All right, we always like to make sure we have that pin that's hiding back there.
Yeah, the sleepers are tough to get. Yeah, there it is. Ball didn't come up again. It's been a tendency on the short oil condition that we face nowadays. A lot of times you go out that cross alley spare and the ball doesn't want to move very well.
So Andy has an open in his fourth frame. 76 pins. Jeff Miller is leading at the moment with his 4 strikes in a row. Now Andy moves over to lane 21, which say he has to bury one now, right? Which he does.
Well, he's got plenty of time, but Jeff Miller's no stranger to this top-notch competition, and he's a great bowler, and you don't make too many mistakes against Jeff Miller and try to win.
So Andy comes right back with a strike in the 5th frame, and here's Jeff Miller now.
That late 10 pin again, corner pin's going for him, and that's what's going to indicate the good scoring.
That's 5 in a row for Jeff Miller.
That last shot, that was a super shot there, showing his feet. Nice, deliberate, slow approach, no running up there. Great balance at the foul line. That's what you need.
For our viewers' benefit on this Sunday afternoon during this telecast, we'd like to say we're going to be in the Menominee area in 3 weeks on the 12th of November at the Sheridan Lanes for the next UP Match Play Championships. Jeff Miller.
8 tremendous tournaments this year. Oh, look at this. All right. He's halfway there. Oh, there you go. 6 in a row.
6 in a row for Jeff Miller. This is the first match, the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic, and Andy Poole now up on lane 22. We're at the Westwood Lanes in Marquette, Michigan.
And he's got his work cut out now.
The approach, and there it goes.
Now he got the carry. There again, corner pin is the last one out. Very indicative of his house. Good scoring conditions here. He can hit the pocket real easy. It's just a matter of carrying that corner pin.
Is there an opportunity of someone yet to become a member of the match play?
Certainly. Certainly, anybody that would like to come out, no matter what the average is, come on out here and try these. To get involved with it, either contact Channel 6, but probably the best way to do it is contact your local bowling proprietor. There's a double.
He answers with a turkey.
All of our local bowling proprietors in the UP have been sent a package of our tournament schedule and rules. So if anything has to be answered as far as the way of a question and trying to get involved in a tournament, the proprietor can't answer it. I'm sure a call to Channel 6, ask for Carl or Chris Brooks, and we'd be glad to pass some information along to them, how they can get in contact with the appropriate people.
Here's Jeff Miller now. He has 6 in a row. Will he have 7?
You bet.
He does.
He is wired. He's got the line today, Carl. His only first match, and we're seeing something else out here. It's too bad that we had that open into the 4th by Andy. Otherwise, we really would have had a tight ball game here.
All right, Jeff Miller now. He's on lane 21. We're at the Westwood Lanes in Marquette, Michigan. This is the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic. Jeff Miller.
Look at this. Oh. All right, number 8.
Number 8 in a row, ladies and gentlemen.
And the crowd is enjoying it too. That's one other thing we'd like to see. We want to get some crowd participation. Come out and see us when we're coming to your town, and support your local bowlers in your area, and come on out and see some great bowling.
Here's Andy Poole now. He has 3 in a row. Following the open.
Oh, there again, that corner pin. Amazingly, we haven't seen a lot of them. Both of these bowlers have a pretty good line out there, and they're throwing the ball well enough to carry those corners right now.
And you can't afford another open.
Oh, definitely not. His back is to the wall right now. But still bowling very, very well.
Andy Poole to convert the spare. And he does.
All right.
Andy Poole with a spare up in the 8th frame. Jeff Miller with 8 in a row. Here's Andy Poole now. It's a must situation for Andy Poole here.
There's a great ball now. a ball like that, he is still loose and throwing the ball very well. Those pins just exploded off the back of the deck.
Okay.
Good mixing ball. This is probably the toughest of all. When you're at a 300 game, that ninth one is really tough to throw. If he gets past this hurdle, he's got a good chance of throwing a perfect game.
There's Jeff Miller now. He has 8 strikes in a row, and this is our first match of the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic. Jeff Miller.
Come on. Yes, oh, he threw it well.
9 in a
Again,
row.
he's loose, and the pin just exploded off the ring. Now we've got a chance to see something beautiful here. Of course, Andy is completely shut out no matter what Jeff does here in the 10th frame. Winning a game, Jeff has done that, but we want to see the perfect game right now, Carl.
And Jeff Miller will face Steve Windahl in the next match. And the winner then will face the manager here of the Westwood Lanes, Clay Sandberg. Here it is.
Come on. Oh, 4 pin stops him. Just a great effort. Crowd's giving him a nice hand. Well deserved.
Went a little high, didn't it?
Just a little bit high, and you know that's sort of the tendency when you're on a big string like that, just to get a little bit tight, and that ball wants to move harder.
9 in a row. How about that to start?
Just fantastic, but that's what our whole organization is built around, just good scoring and a camaraderie of the bowlers is just really great out here. I wish everybody would be able to have a chance to see us once. Like I say, if we get in the area, come on out and see us.
So he has 239 in the 9th frame with a spare.
And the most Andy can get would be 235 if he gets 3-bagger in the 10th, so he's definitely shut out.
So Jeff Miller with a 259 in the 9th with a spare up. And here's his last ball. And he'll face Steve Windahl. Here's Jeff Miller.
Oh, another one.
4.
Wow, that's just excellent bowling, Carl. Just excellent. And here Andy has a chance to shoot 235 and still lose by over 40 pins.
So
we've had some great matches today, even in the match game portion of our tournament. Randy Schillerstrom didn't make our show today. Still averaged over 216, but his opponents averaged over 230. So you can understand the competition involved.
He's going to make a nice
he's throwing good. For only his 2nd tournament, very, very impressive. We're going to see a lot more of this young man.
So Jeff Miller finished with a 278. A 278 for the first match of this
Just
Michigan Chevy Classic.
It's going to be tough to beat that game as a high game today, but we're going to see some good competition.
All right, here's Andy Poole. 2nd ball in the 10th. Strike up. Oh, there we go.
Just great.
One more ball for Andy Poole. And again, remember, folks, November the 12th, we'll be at the Sheridan Lanes in Menominee, Michigan, and we'd like to invite all the bowlers and the viewers to come down and see us. Featuring Jeff Miller and Steve Windahl. But right now, we're going to take a break for the Upper Michigan Chevrolet dealers who invite you to stop in and test drive the heartbeat of America, your 1989 Chevrolet.
It's our 50-year anniversary, and as the only mattress and box spring manufacturer in the Upper Peninsula, we want to include you in our celebration. At Restonic mattress dealers across the UP, you can receive an instant rebate of up to $250. Restonic mattresses are quality constructed right here in the UP, and we offer the best warranties in the bedding industry. Hurry into one of these fine stores for your instant rebate.
See Constantini's Ironwood, Ball and Christie Furniture Iron Mountain, and Lance Furniture Mart Lance.
For 25 years, the Sisters of St. Paul of Shard have worked among Upper Michigan's poor and elderly. Tonight, Terry Kovarik profiles the only religious order in the Diocese of Marquette.
Replace it with a new Weil-McLean VHE boiler, or the HE boiler, or for oil, the P68 series high-efficiency boiler. Weil-McLean boilers, built for years of dependable service, built in the USA with energy-efficient operation guaranteed to save fuel costs for your home or business. Distributed by Widdock Supply and available at these licensed-certified Weil-McLean dealers. Dupra Plumbing and Heating Marquette, Harold's Plumbing and Heating Marinette, Wisconsin, and D&L Plumbing and Heating Iron Mountain.
It's the Upper Michigan Chevy Dealers Classic, and we're down to the last frame. Looks like it's all up to Blazer.
You can do it, boy.
We're counting on you.
Blazer's at the line. The release looks good.
He did it! Yes!
Where's Blazer?
Gee, I hope he didn't split.
The Upper Michigan Bowling Classic, brought to you by your Upper Michigan Chevy dealers, where every deal saves you in the pocket.
We continue now, ladies and gentlemen, the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic from the Westwood Lanes in Marquette, Michigan. And it's Steve Windahl facing Jeff Miller. And Steve has opted to go first, Glenn.
Yes, he wants to finish on lane 22 as Andy Poole did. There might be a difference out there because Jeff Miller in the 10th frame left the 4-pin twice, and that alley might be moving a little bit on 21. Didn't show it there, though, with the big washout, the 1, 2, 4, 10.
Okay, so Steve Windahl and these two individuals competed here at the Westwood for the first time when we televised the Match Play Championships last year.
Right. I guess it's a little revenge or a grudge match here today.
Here's Steve Windahl trying to convert the spare.
That's pretty close.
He leaves the pen. Opens up for the 9.
It's too bad he started like that because he's against an opponent that's really shooting the lights out of the pocket right now.
And Jeff Miller with a 278 over Andy Poole's 235 for the first match. Here's Jeff Miller now up on lane 22. We're at the Westwood Lanes. This is the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic, sponsored by your Upper Michigan Chevrolet dealers. Here's Jeff Miller, his first ball.
Yes, he's still there, and he's not lost anything since that first game.
Okay, he starts with a strike and moves now to lane 21. This is the second match.
Let's see what happens here. He rode a little bit high with 2 balls in the 10th frame in that first game, leaving 4 pins both times in the 10th frame. Let's see what happens if he makes a slight adjustment or maybe goes with a little bit more speed on this shot. He certainly got the pocket, that's for sure.
All right. Here's Jeff Miller. Second ball, second match.
Looks like he threw it a little bit harder, but he turned it a little bit too with it. That's what created to go a little bit higher than where the other ones were. 6 pin should be fairly easy spare for him. He'll cross lanes, moving left on the approach. Shouldn't be any problem with him picking a spare like this.
But you can't really afford to leave any opens at all, can you?
Oh, no. You can't do that in this competition. They're going to jump on you right away. That's what the other opponent's looking for, is that open.
And he converts the spare.
No problem. Just ask him.
So now it's Steve Windahl, who had an open as he began the match. And he's up on lane 22. Again, this is the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic, the first telecast for the year from the Westwood Lanes in Marquette, Michigan. Sponsored by your Upper Michigan Chevrolet dealers. Steve Windahl from Ishpeming.
He just didn't make it back to the pocket. I think he might be trying to overthrow a little bit. That ball went over the thumb hole a little bit. Doesn't get the full roll because actually when it's going over that thumb hole, it's bouncing a little bit. Doesn't have full contact with the lane, but he'll get it solved.
All right, Steve Windahl. He has to convert. And does. So Windahl with a spare. They're both using 16-pound balls too, Glenn.
That's mostly normal. 15 or 16 out here. Not too many of the bowlers, unless they've got an injury problem, would go less than that.
All right, Windahl. His third frame, second match.
There's the better ball.
He found the lane that time, didn't he?
Okay, Jeff's going to be coming up on alley 22. He's throwing a 16-pound wine U-dot, and he's got that ball axis weighted. It's a different type of drilling method than normally used.
All right, Jeff Miller now. His third frame. With a spare up.
He's close. Oh, another 4-pin. Whoa. Yep, it stands. Again, single pin spare. I don't think he'll have too much problem. He'll be moving to the right on this and throwing across lanes. Just got to be a little careful. The middle is awfully slick in there, and ball doesn't want to hook a lot at times. He wants to make sure he makes a good, solid conversion on this.
converts
good
the spare.
solid spare.
All right, both bowlers have completed their third frame. And Miller now moves over to lane 21. This is the second match of the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic from the Westwood lanes in Marquette. And the winner, Jeff Miller or Steve Windahl, will face Clay Sandberg, who was the manager of the Westwood lanes. Should be an interesting match.
Oh, definitely.
All right,
We want to thank Clay. He's a great tournament hoster. Every year we come here, he just puts out a tremendous condition for us, and his staff really treats us loyally. He's got 3-6. He'll again move left on the approach. Cross alleys at it.
Now, these bowlers have bowled how many games already prior to this competition, Glenn?
It would be 10 games prior to the start of this match game play here on television, the stepladder finals, as we call it.
And he converts.
There's 5 games of qualifying that start at noon, and after the 5 games of qualifying, the 51-man field is narrowed down to 12 match game finalists. And they bowl another 5 games to determine the 4 bowlers that will be coming on TV and bowling in our stepladder television show.
All right. Right now, here's Windahl. Steve Windahl. Again.
All of a sudden, the bowlers are struggling some. No reason. Pressure, maybe? This is again, it's a rematch, and both these bowlers want to win. Maybe they're trying a little too hard, Carl.
All right, he did not convert this before, if I remember correctly.
No, he didn't. It's a tough spare. He's got to get far enough left to get that head pin into the 10 pin.
Another
didn't
open.
quite do it. It's the second time in a row. Like I say, it's tough to get the ball across alleys a little bit because of that oil in the middle. It just doesn't want to move very well.
So Miller has the lead
spare.
as of right now, right?
Right.
So Windahl now on lane 21. This is the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic, brought to you by your Upper Michigan Chevrolet dealers. Here's Windahl now.
Just got about a 20-pin lead going into the 5th frame.
And now Jeff Miller's up.
Well, he can't afford to wait too long either, because both of these bowlers could put some long strings of strikes out here, and you can't give Steve that breathing room. You got to really step on him here. This is the key ball for Jeff, even though he's 20 pins up. And look what happened. Those pins were flying around that time.
Miller with a strike in his 5th frame.
Anytime you see a big mixing ball like that, these bowlers are still loose and able to throw it. Maybe just a little bit of lack of concentration their first couple of frames, but they're going to settle down and hopefully show us some big scoring here.
All right, Miller's up now in the 6th frame. This is the second match of the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic, bowling here at the Westwood Lanes in Marquette. We were here televising yesterday, Saturday, for this telecast on this Sunday afternoon.
Wow, there's
another one.
There. Well, Steve's got it going now. He's 20 pins down, and he needs to strike to Steve in here. Or not to lose any more ground, I should say.
So what Windahl has to do is keep pace with a strike.
Yep. Yeah, got to do that and wait for his opportunity.
In the event of a mistake, right?
You bet. Stay right on his heels.
Here's Windahl. He's still
just a little bit light again.
Right.
Probably tried to overthrow that ball the way it looked. Just trying to get too much out of it. Here again, a tricky cross alley spare. Tricky, you got a split in ball first of all, and you also got a sleeper in there. Those 3 pins are tough to knock down. 2 ways of doing it, either going on the right side of the spare or trying to go right down between the 2 pins, but that's a little trickier. I'm sure he's going to try to stay right on this spare.
All right, here
try
we
to
go.
Kick the 2 pins into the 7. Oh, real close. Just came up a little bit too much.
That's 3 opens for Steve Windahl in the second match.
It's early yet, but boy, that might spell disaster. Missing there. His back is really to the wall now.
And he was the 3rd qualifier, in a sense, in the match play before we telecast, right?
Right.
And Windahl with a strike now in the 7th frame. All right, Here's Jeff Miller now. He has a double working for him in the 6th frame. Windahl is not too happy with himself. What can you say? That's what bowling is all about.
He's about 40 pins down now. And just have to see what happens here. If there's any opportunities for him to get back in the match. Oh, good ball, and he really got into that ball very well, maybe too much, and just rolled a little bit high and left the 4-9 split. What sort of a bad break? That's a good pocket hit, and he's still got a bad break on it.
Did Jeff release the ball a little differently that time?
Possibly. He may have got a few extra revolutions on it. That would tend to make a drive through the pocket area a little bit harder than the other balls that he's been throwing today, but it's still a good shot.
And he tried to convert the spare, but didn't. Left it.
Well, now this might be the opening for Steve. He might be able to get something generated here. He's got that strike up.
All right. Jeff Miller with an open in the 7th frame.
If Steve Windahl would be able to catch on to his next strike on lane 22, he could be within 20 pins.
All right, Jeff Miller.
Wow, that's a beautiful strike.
From an open, he converts to a strike, which is a must in any kind of competition, Glenn, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yes. You have to stay around the pocket area and wait for those good breaks to come along. You just can't be that good to sit there all day long and not worry about breaks. They have to have some good breaks to get where these bowlers did, but they did it also with some sound, basic, great bowling.
All right, this is Windahl now. He's up in the 8th frame. He has a strike going. He has a double.
They pull him within 20 pins, depending upon how Jeff Miller finishes his 9th and 10th. There is a match here yet.
So Windahl with his double in his 8th frame. He's up in the 9th on lane 21. This is the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic from the Westwood lanes in Marquette, Michigan. Here's Windahl.
There again, he caught that thumb hole and just didn't want to really come up well. We are blessed with some great bowlers in the Upper Peninsula, though, Carl. These bowlers have some great averages, and everybody should be proud of them. Some great bowling that goes on up here.
Well, Windahl's average is 208, and Jeff Miller's average is 203. How about that?
Well, that's some great bowling. I'm sure this isn't the first time or the second time that they've met in match play competition along our tour. We've got complete records, but it's kind of hard to dive back in and find out exactly how they fared against each other throughout the years. But I'm sure they'll meet more often than just a few times they have in the past.
All right, Jeff Miller now. This is his 9th frame. He's currently leading in the match.
Oh, and he got the great break. There again, carrying the corner pins.
That pin just bounced, came right across the lane.
Got a good break that time. It was an excellent bowling ball, but there again, that's where a little bit of luck comes in.
I didn't realize you needed luck to be a good bowler, Glenn.
I don't know. When it gets to be my age, I need a lot of luck.
All right, Jeff Miller with a strike.
Almost slamming a door here on Steve. I don't know, 52, 82.
Here's Miller.
I think he's just about shut the door on him.
Real high.
Uh-oh. Now I got to get my pencil out here and see what's possible.
Does he go for the conversion here, Glenn? Is it important for him to convert this spare?
Okay, I don't believe so. He's got one. If he took a 9 count here, his possible would be 187, I think. And that means even if Steve would strike all the way out, he still couldn't beat him with his 182. So I would just go for the pin count here.
Okay, so go for the 2 pins, right?
Right.
All right, the winner of this match will face Clay Sandberg for the championship. They'll be coming up next.
That's the best way. Nice and hard and firm right at those. Didn't give it a chance to hook away and lose another pin and count. So he's got that match won.
All right, Windahl.
Most Steve Windahl can do is 182 if he strikes out in the 10th. All right, Good ball.
He opens in 10th frame with a strike.
Ran into a little bad luck here with that ball just staying out a little wide, not coming up. A couple frames, just didn't give the ball a chance to get in there.
Windahl with his second ball in the 10th frame.
Yeah,
He found it now as he gestures to the folks in the audience.
Happens so many times. Once that pressure's off, bowlers are going to see those strikes coming out.
So if he strikes out, he'll have a 182 to Jeff Miller's 188.
.180, Carl.
A 180 game for Steve Windahl. So Jeff Miller moves on to face Clay Sandberg in the championship match. And we'll have that for you in just a moment. Again, we're reminding you we're here courtesy of the Upper Michigan Chevrolet dealers who invite you to stop in and test drive the heartbeat of America, your 1989 Chevrolet. We'll have the championship match in just a moment.
It's the Upper Michigan Chevy Dealers Classic, and we're down to the last frame. Looks like it's all up to Blazer.
You can do it, boy.
We're counting on you.
Blazer's at the line. The release looks good.
He did it! Yes!
Where's Blazer?
Gee, I hope he didn't split.
The Upper Michigan Bowling Classic, brought to you by your Upper Michigan Chevy dealers, where every deal saves you in the pocket. Buying pre-owned mobile homes is getting easier every day when you go to Bob's. Now through October 31st, get free interest with payments as low as $100. That's for all pre-owned mobile homes from 10 to 14 wide, 2 or 3 bedrooms in a variety of floor plans. If you're looking for a camp, a cottage, or a year-round home, put 25% down and get free interest, and that includes delivery. But hurry, this free interest offer ends October 31st. For free interest, go to the leader, Bob's Homes, in 3 locations.
Fall is a time for hunting, and we're hunting for your jewelry business. Hi, I'm Rod DeLine from the Country Cottage Jewelers, here to tell you about an amazing offer. Buy this beautiful 1-carat diamond ring and receive this Winchester deer rifle absolutely free. Or, how about a pair of diamond earrings for her and a pair of binoculars for you? You'll find a great selection of jewelry and free gifts like sleeping bags, video depth finders, and more. Show her how much you care and get a free gift for yourself from the Country Cottage Jewelers in the Copper Country Mall, Houghton.
Okay, here we go. The shake of the hands. Clay Sandberg facing Jeff Miller for the championship of the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic from the Westwood Lanes. And interesting, we have the manager of the house taking on the challenger, Jeff Miller. Clay Sandberg, the manager of the Westwood Lanes, who opened in January of '86 here in Marquette, 24 lanes. Here's the first ball, championship match, Clay Sandberg.
Oh, and there it is, a corner pin. Didn't get the good break. He threw the ball very well.
All right, Clay was the top qualifier for today's competition.
Yes, he was. He led the field in both our qualifying round and our match game play round. And he had the option, again, the bowlers that are coming up with the option are bowling their 10th frames on 22. That's the way they choose it. You want to there's a drastic mistake. There again, that oil in the middle of the lane just held that ball from coming up on that spare.
So Clay opens with an open in the championship match of the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic. Westwood Lanes in Marquette, televised yesterday for air on this Sunday. And don't forget, football to follow this bowling competition. Here's Jeff Miller, first ball, championship match.
And he's hot, I think this one's going to be a high scorer, Carl.
Jeff Miller defeated Andy Poole, a 278 to a 235 for Andy. And then he came back and lost 90 pins, but still beat Steve Windahl 188 to 180. And this is it, the championship match. Jeff Miller and Clay Sandberg. Both bowlers from Marquette. And again, in 3 weeks' time, we're going to be at the Sheridan Lanes in Menominee, November the 12th. Jeff Miller, second ball.
He's throwing super.
He found his spot again. He has a double working for him. This is the championship match. Here's Clay Sandberg now. By the way, the Westwood Lanes sponsors a women's no-tap tournament November 19th through the 11th of December, handicapped during deer season. So ladies, pay attention. Here's Clay Sandberg.
Oh, and he drove one through the middle. The last ball in alley 21 didn't want to come up as much, and 22, that alley just hooked a little bit more for him. Maybe he threw it a little bit different. Sitting here to my left is the new president of our organization, Dave Sherby, and he sort of informed me that when he was bowling on this pair, 22 seemed to be hooking a little bit more than 21. Maybe that's why that happened here.
Okay. And Clay opens with 2 opens.
Yeah, that's no good. Not when you're bowling somebody like Steve Miller. You can't give him that kind of,
right?
or excuse me, Jeff Miller. You just can't give him that type of opportunity.
All right.
Just too hard to come back.
Let's see what Clay does now. This is his 3rd frame. This is the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic, the championship match.
Yeah,
now he found it.
Threw that one very good. Beautiful ball.
He mentioned the camaraderie, and we talked about this last season, Glenn. It's really nice to see the guys that they are together as a unit.
You bet.
They pull for each other and give accolades to one who does a good job. It's remarkable. And this bowling, that's what this bowling is all about.
That's right.
All right, Jeff Miller now. He has a double working for him.
Oh, right.
There it is.
There's a big turkey. In this day and age with bowling, you know, it's been on a decrease nationwide for a while, and this is what we need. We need bowlers to stick together. We're out here to have fun. That's the bottom line. Even if you go bowling at your local bowling alley and you're 140 average bowler, you still want to go out there and have fun. That's what the sport is for, whatever level you desire to be at.
And the nice thing about it, it's a sport for everybody.
It's relaxing.
It's for every member of the family.
You bet.
From the children.
They've got bumper bowling now, and I know in our area down there, there's several lanes that have bumper bowling for the children that can hardly hold a ball in one hand, and being able to still get out there and have a little bit of fun.
Okay, he went a little high that time.
A little bit high, pull the ball a little bit. And here again, he'll go cross alleys, and the last time he had this spare, he threw pretty hard at it. It actually was a split there at 1 frame and a 10th frame. He threw pretty hard at it. Let's see what he does here.
All right. This is Jeff Miller's.
There again, a little bit of speed. And wow, the ball just came up just enough.
Yes, he said himself. Jeff Miller with a spare now.
Big sigh of relief.
And now Clay Sandberg, who averages 208. And he bowls 3 days a week.
Well, with a strike here, he'll be about 30 pins down, so he's got his work cut out.
Clay Sandberg.
Okay, he made the adjustment there. He went with more speed on alley 22. That first one crept up there, and he knew it. He made the adjustment right away. Got the beautiful strike.
And that's what you have to do when you're bowling, is adjust.
You bet. That's the biggest thing that you're going to learn out here if you become a member of our association, is that you're going to learn how to adjust the lanes awfully quickly. It just has to be.
All right. Clay now has a double working for him after 2 opens. Lane 21.
There he is. He's got the line on. Both bowlers are lined up, and we're in for a good finish here of our match.
And that's as it should be for this championship match of the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic. All right, Jeff Miller on lane 22. We're at the Westwood lanes. We were here on a Saturday afternoon to televise the event for this Sunday afternoon on TV6 someplace special. Jeff Miller, who has already won 2 matches.
There's a good carry. That ball's working very well out there for him. It shows he's still loose.
All right. Jeff Miller with a strike up in the 5th.
Right now they're 20 pins separating him. Clay's down about 20 pins right now.
Clay does have 3 working for him.
Both have a strike up.
And here's Jeff Miller again.
Well, they're hot now. Orchid just got tripped out. These are great bowling balls they're throwing down there, showing everybody that they're really loose yet. Ready to take this championship home with them. Now, it may even come down to a break here along the way, either a bad one or a good one for someone.
Okay, this is Clay Sandberg now. This again is the championship match. Clay Sandberg, Jeff Miller, both of Marquette, the Upper Michigan Chevy Classic. UP Match Play Championships. Here's Clay Sandberg now.
There's that speed again on 22. He carried it. Wow, he just blew the rack that time.
That's what you call a working ball.
Oh, just tremendous lift on that ball.
That's 4 in a row after 2 opens for Clay Sandberg.
Might have had just a little tight collar here when he started his TV appearance. Maybe the first time for Clay on TV, I'm not sure, and that does make a difference. People don't realize the pressure that a bowler is on when he comes out here under these lights.
Let alone the cameras are on, right?
That's right.
All right. This is Clay Sandberg now. He has 4 in a row.
Just stayed out there. Maybe a little too hard on that lane. Like we say, there is a difference between 21 and 22, and that just lingered out there a little bit too long. Should be moving to his right again on this spare. And
this is not a very easy spare to convert of all spares, is it?
No, because there's 3 pins standing. It makes it a tricky spare, especially going cross lanes here from right to left.
It's a must-won.
Oh,
he chopped
it. That's what happens. You leave those pins up there, it's tough to nail them down.
I think that's the most critical thing about bowling. You have to convert your spares.
That's right. And the thing is to stay around the pocket continuously, like we had mentioned at the beginning of the show. You eliminate those 7 and 8 counts. Anytime you leave more than 1 pin up there, that can happen. That chop is always out there.
All right, the 7th frame for Jeff Miller, who is leading at the moment.
Oh, and there is a bad break. Just seen 2 bad breaks. One with Clay chopping that spare over here, and that was a solid 10 pin. He threw the ball very well. He was excited with that shot. He knew it was there.
How does one keep his composure when you bury one like that and leave the 10 pin?
Well, that's the thing. You just got to keep everything on an even keel. Can't let anything upset you out here. If you get upset, you can't go kicking ball racks and things like that. You're going to make some bad shots after that.
He converts the spare, however. So Jeff Miller now with a 147 in the 6th frame and a spare up.
He's 28 pins up right now.
Okay.
3 frames to go. Still anybody's ball game.
All right. Jeff Miller.
Either one of these bowlers can get 5 strikes any time, and that's what's available here. To either bowler, you get 5 strikes in a row. Yes, there's one of them.
Jeff Miller with a strike in the 8th frame. He's 167 pins with a strike up in the 8th frame, and now he puts the burden right back onto Clay Sandberg. This is the final match, ladies and gentlemen. The Upper Michigan Chevy Classic, Clay Sandberg.
That should spell the end for Clay here. It's going to be a tough spare to pick up. Not impossible, but certainly the way Jeff is bowling, I don't think he's going to leave the door open too many times for Clay here to get back in this.
All right, he's going to try to convert.
Good try. Here again, he moved left on the approach, sends the ball right, going across alleys, and there again, that mysterious degree of oil in the middle. We never know how much is in there. We don't really know how much the ball is going to slide at times going across it. It's a tricky spare like that.
All right, Clay Sandberg now. This is his 9th frame.
Beautiful ball, just a super mixing ball.
That one really grabbed the outside edge and went in.
Clay's been using a limited distance angle 15-pounder. And again, some of the bowlers out there questioning what weight to go with. A lot of them don't want to go down to a 15-pounder. They feel they're going to lose some hits. Well, here's a gentleman that led a tournament today with 15-pound ball. Didn't hurt him any.
All right, Jeff Miller, who's leading at the moment.
Okay, he's got a 227 possible and 201 possible for Clay. He doesn't seem to be letting up at all. He's got the line, and I think you can smell the trophy here.
Jeff Miller has won this match.
He's won it, yes.
And this is his 2nd telecast that he has won the championship. And the last time was right here at the Westwood Lanes in Marquette. He defeated Steve Windahl at that time.
Right.
Well, I'm happy that we're here with you, Glenn. And
well, we want to thank Channel 6 for making this all possible. Again, we're going to be here with 8 shows this year, and we want our bowling fans out there to make sure they tune in and watch all 8 shows. hopefully you can come out in here and watch us at the tournament sites.
Don't forget, we're going to be at the Sheridan Lanes in Menominee on the 12th of November. I believe that's a Saturday.
Yes, it is. All the tournaments that we hold will be held, excuse me, at 12 o'clock noon on Saturdays, and the shows will be hopefully the following day on a Sunday.
Right. All right, Jeff Miller, who has won the Upper Michigan Chevrolet Classic.
Beautiful. One more ball and 228 possible.
So Miller with a 278, a 188, and here he's finishing up the third and championship match with a win over Clay Sandberg.
Oh, excuse me, he's got a possible 257. He's well over 700 right now.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen?
There he is. Beautiful bowling.
723, a 723, my goodness sake, ladies and gentlemen, that's bowling.
723 with a 188 game. That's not too shabby.
Here's Clay Sandberg.
Oh, he left a bad break. Didn't matter, but still, that was a good ball. Got a bad break on it.
He leaves the 7th pin. What exciting bowling, my goodness sake. Come on out and see us in action again in Menominee, folks, at the Sheridan Lanes on the 12th. You'll see these and many other bowlers. He converts the spare.
Bowlers from all over the UP can join this association.
And northern Wisconsin.
Yes. Well, if they bowl in a sanctioned UP Upper Peninsula League.
Right.
That's the key.
That's the qualification,
yes.
right? Okay.
They have to bowl in an Upper Peninsula League.
All right, here's the last ball for today's competition, ladies and gentlemen. Clay Sandberg.
Another bad break. Solid 9.
Okay.
Tremendous bowling.
So he finishes with a
180 game for Clay Sandberg.
game. All right. To a 257 for Jeff Miller. And we'll be back to talk to Jeff Miller and present some of the trophies that are available courtesy of the bowling establishments and the bowlers here today. Don't go away. We'll be back after this message from your Upper Michigan Chevrolet dealers who invite you to stop in and test drive the heartbeat of America, the 1989 Chevrolet.
It's the Upper Michigan Chevy Dealers Classic, and we're down to the last frame. Looks like it's all up to Blazer.
You can do it, boy.
We're counting on you.
Blazer's at the line. The release looks good. He did it!
Yes!
Where's Blazer?
Gee, I hope he didn't split.
The Upper Michigan Bowling Classic, brought to you by your Upper Michigan Chevy dealers, where every deal saves you in the pocket.
Fall is a time for hunting, and we're hunting for your jewelry business. Hi, I'm Rod DeLine from the Country Cottage Jewelers, here to tell you about an amazing offer. Buy this beautiful 1-carat diamond ring and receive this Winchester deer rifle absolutely free. Or, how about a pair of diamond earrings for her and a pair of binoculars for you? You'll find a great selection of jewelry and free gifts like sleeping bags, video depth finders, and more. Show her how much you care and get a free gift for yourself from the Country Cottage Jewelers in the Copper Country Mall, Houghton.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the finals of our Upper Michigan Chevy Classic, and on behalf of the Chevrolet dealers of the Upper Peninsula, here is Dave Sherby, president of Crystal Falls, the president of the association, to present the checks to these individual bowlers. Go right ahead, Jeff.
Okay, Jeff Grunke. Okay. Joe Blonick. Mark Gardner. Dave Sherby. Jack Herman. Mike Menza. Bob Holm. Andy Poole. Steve Windahl. Clay Sandberg gets 2 checks for high qualifier. And Jeff Miller, our winner.
Thank you very much, Dave. Congratulations, Jeff. This is the second time for you.
Yeah, I like this place a lot. It's a nice place.
You started with a whopping 278, Jeff.
I would like to have had the 3 better myself. I pulled the 10th one into the pocket just a little bit hard.
What happened in the second match then?
I got a little complacent on the line. I didn't throw the ball as well as I had in the first game. I start pulling a shot a little bit, that's all.
All right. Well, all our congratulations. Jeff Miller, the winner of the
UP or Upper Michigan Chevy Classic. Congratulations. Your comments, Glenn, how was the bowling?
Well, we promised the bowlers or the viewers some good bowling today, and they sure gave us some good matches out there, and especially Mr. Miller here with that fine 723 for all 3 games. That's great bowling.
All right. We'll be back to wrap up this telecast. The Upper Michigan Chevy Classic from the Westwood lanes in Marquette after we pause for this message from your Upper Michigan Chevrolet dealer.
It's the Upper Michigan Chevy Dealers Classic, and we're down to the last frame. Looks like it's all up to Blazer.
You can do it, boy.
We're counting on you.
Blazer's at the line. The release looks good.
He did it!
Yes!
Where's Blazer?
Gee, I hope he didn't split.
The Upper Michigan Bowling Classic, brought to you by your Upper Michigan Chevy Dealers, where every deal saves you in the pocket.
That just about wraps it up from the Westwood lanes here in Marquette, Glenn, and thank you very much for being a part of our bowling show.
Well, it was my pleasure, and hope to see everybody November 12th down at Sheridan Lanes.
All right. Glenn Borchert from Iron Mountain, and we're again inviting you to join us at the Sheridan Lanes in Menominee 3 weeks from today, or Saturday, actually, the 12th of November, for the next Upper Michigan Chevy Classic. And we thank all our bowlers. We thank the Westwood Lanes for making it possible for televise today's Upper Michigan Chevy Classic. From all of us at TV6, thanks for joining us. Go bowling, enjoy yourselves, and stay tuned. Football is coming up next.
Up to $1,000 cash.